Hello, you beautiful naughty creatives. Welcome to another episode, Crochet Edition. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're true, I appreciate you. Remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it. Here is the look that we're going to be working on today. Okay, so I decided to call this Cozy Bucket Hat. Let me know how excited you are for this look by giving me a like, and don't forget to subscribe. So let's go ahead and get right into the materials that you're going to need for this project. For this, I started off with this newer yarn that I actually found at Michael's. It's pretty plush. It caught my attention with just the beautiful colorway, the way it looks together. It's so soft and plush. It really is. So let's go ahead and get right into what this yarn is. And excuse my my voice, guys, because you know the weather is getting colder and it's snow out, but yeah, let's still get this video out to you guys. Okay, so this is called the Cozy Heathered, and it's actually by Loops and Threads. Okay, so I will go ahead and zoom in on all this here so you guys can see more information in regards to this skein, this ball of yarn. And I did purchase this from Michael's. Okay, you only need one skein for this project. I would say one skein, at the most 1.5 skeins. Okay, you're also going to need a 16mm hook. That's what I decided to use, and some scissors, of course. It is optional to use a stitch marker, especially if you are a beginner. Even if you are intermediate or advanced with crocheting, you can also use a stitch marker as well, just because with this color here, this is actually called Rosewood. You can see it is a bit darker, more so a burgundy type of look. Okay, with like cream, I would say. So here, what I started off doing was just chaining up 3. I did try with a magic circle as well, but I found that when you're pulling that skein that's in between, it is a bit harder, and sometimes it does come off and separate from the yarn. So you definitely have to be careful with that. It is pretty plush and soft. It's durable too, but when you are pulling on it, especially when it's not already connected to another stitch or chain, then it will, I did notice that it was breaking off. Okay, so yeah, I started off with chain 3 after my slip knot. Then I connected and slip stitched to that first chain, and this is what's going to help us create that circle. Once you slip stitched from that first chain to the third chain, again, you'll see, as I stated, that you're going to have just that circle in between. Okay, so now you want to go ahead and chain 3, which is going to count as your first double crochet. Alrighty, so now all into that circle, we're going to be working all with double crochet. Into that circle, you want to go ahead and add 11 more double crochets. So we have a total of 12. Once you've got your 12 double crochets in the circle, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch to that top of the 3 chains that we made initially. That was our first double crochet. Okay, so you want to slip stitch to the top of that. At this point here, we've got our first circle made, and this is when you can choose. It's optional for you to add that stitch marker there so you know where the beginning is, but as for me, I'm not necessarily going to add the stitch marker. So you just want to go ahead and chain up 3 again, and this time we're going to be adding 2 double crochets into each stitch. So since that chain 3 counts as a double crochet, we're just adding one more double crochet into that into that stitch. And then now into every stitch across, you want to add 2 double crochets. So we're doubling in size what we initially started with, which was 12. And then you're going to end off with 24 double crochets now after you go all around in the circle. And I will meet you guys back at the top when you slip stitch in that third chain. Once you've done that, here I'm just going ahead and showing you guys how many inches I have so far. So currently the project with just the 2 rows is 8 inches here. Okay, and the circumference of my head is 23 inches. Okay, so at the widest part of the hat, it should be about 12 inches total. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. Okay, now we're pretty much going to be making the body of the hat. So again, you're going to chain 3. And at this point here, you're only going to add 1 double crochet into each stitch around, but instead of working into both loops, you're only going to be working into the back loops only. Okay, so add 1 double crochet into each stitch and only the back loops. All right, so you'll see the reason for that once we get done with this row. It's going to allow it to create, again, as I said before, the body of the hat. Once we've slip stitched on after that row, this is what your project should be looking like. You'll see that now the hat has some curvature to it. Okay, so this is still the body of the hat here that we're working on. So you want to chain 3, and now we're going to add 1 double crochet into each stitch across and working into both loops this time. Okay, and you should also have the same number of double crochets, which will be 24 for the last row as well as this row here. So you want to go ahead and continue that all the way around. After your slip stitch, this is what you are looking like so far. Okay, so at this point here, we're going to go ahead and add 1 more row, just like what we previously did, with 1 double crochet in each stitch around. So chain 3. Go ahead and repeat that last row. So 1 double crochet into each stitch around, again for a total of 24, and I will meet you guys at the end. So here is the end of that row and what the project is currently looking like here. We've got it to curve perfectly the way that we need it to, and this is going to be our last row here that we're finishing up, and this is where we're going to make that ruffled look. Okay, to end it off, just give it some elegance there. So after you chain 3, this time you're going to add 2 more double crochets, since that first chain 3 counts as a stitch. Add 2 more double crochets into that space. Okay, so this time we're not working into the actual chains, but we're working into the spaces between each double crochet. So once you add the 2 there, you'll have a total of 3. And now in each space, add 3 double crochets in total, okay, all the way around. And this is what's going to give it that ruffled look, because we're sort of bunching the double crochets all together, so they're going to squeeze together tightly and it's going to give a nice beautiful ruffled effect. Okay, so again, add 3 double crochets into each of the spaces in between the previous rows double crochet. So I hope that makes sense from what I'm showing you. And yeah, go ahead and finish that off, and let's get done with our cozy bucket hat. Super excited. Let me know what you guys think of this quick project, this one skein project. Let me know if you guys have seen this yarn before in Michael's or in Joann's. I didn't check personally in Joann's, but yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think and what you guys would want to create with this skein of yarn. But yeah, guys, we're almost to the finish line. Thanks so much for sticking with me and being patient as I drop and make these videos. So thanks so much again. Super grateful for you guys, and let's go. We are all done, and this is what the final project looks like. Okay, so it's super cute, super plush. You really don't need too much yarn to make this project. It finishes off beautifully, so you know, just remember to go ahead and darn in your ends. Okay, so now I want to show you guys just the overall measurements. So we started off with 8 inches for the crown of the head, and then as I stated, for the body it would be around 12 inches, just because of the fact that the circumference of my head is 23 inches, and half of that would be 12, so it works out perfectly in terms of sizing for my head. So I would keep that in mind when you guys are sizing for yourselves. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and put it on the mannequin head so that you guys can see that in a better light. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Again, drop in the comments what you guys think of this project and how excited you guys to try, and what other items that you might make with this project for the winter season. As always, thanks so much for watching. Lots of love.